What's up, guys? Welcome back. So on this video, I'm going to discuss the wheels on the Explorer. So let's have a look. All right, so ever since I built the truck, I've ran these Method wheels, 17 by 9 or 8.5, I think, actually. And they are their Bead Grip technology wheels. Basically, the outer lip where the bead sits has like a ribbed area, and don't quote me, but I think they claim it's like a 30 to 35% higher chance of bead retention. So far these wheels have been awesome. No issues. I've run the tires down on average 8.5, 9 psi. These 40s by 1350s. It wasn't until our Tennessee trip, what was that, 3 weeks ago now? I was probably aired down to 8.5, but then that Saturday morning it was really cold outside. I think it was like 24 degrees first thing in the morning. So I probably should have checked the tires. They were probably down maybe 7.5, 7 psi. Went on the trail. I mean, obviously the tires performed amazing with low PSI. But we were in some really, really insane ruts. And the ruts were quite a bit narrower than what my width is. So my tires were already kind of being folded inward on both sides on this, on these trenches. So I'm definitely not blaming the wheels at all. I mean, these wheels have been amazing. There's a few of us in the group that run them, and none of us have had issues with these wheels. Just coincidentally, though, Brad with Riding Shotgun Adventures, who was also with me in Tennessee, we're on the same trail at within 30 seconds apart. I lost a bead, and then over the radio, I hear he lost a bead. I mean, insane how that happened. So we're both running Method Bead Grip wheels, and like I said, I'm not faulting the wheels. I think the wheels are awesome, and I think they definitely retain the bead way more than any other standard wheel. It's just that the terrain we were on, you know, again, pinching the wheels, already kind of forcing them off the rim, with the combined probably another 1 to 1.5 psi lower than what we thought we were at. It's definitely the cause. So it was kind of, I mean, luckily we both had ways of getting the trucks jacked up, and we got everything cleaned out. It was muddy, it was wet, it was nasty. We got the wheels cleaned up, and we got the beads on both, no problem, back on the trail. But then the problem is, how do I break these things down back at home and get all that mud and water and stuff out of the tires? I know it's possible. You can put a high lift jack underneath your sliders or bumpers and pop the bead, but it's just a real hassle, especially with these Methods, because they retain the bead that much more. And Brian Racy on the other channel, Random Adventures, he actually told us that when he took a set of tires to the tire shop, the tire guy was like, what kind of wheels are these? Because even the tire shop had an issue mounting tires on these wheels. So apparently the wheels definitely work and they hold the bead. But this is kind of a determining factor. Do I spend the time and clean out the tires and put them back on? I mean, our wheeling is only going to maintain this level of, you know, we're only going to keep wheeling this hard or harder. So with Black Friday and all that stuff coming up, there was some really good deals, and there's a contact that sells Dirtylife wheels, and I found a set that I liked, and I'll show you guys those in a minute. But anyway, I'm going to take these off the truck, bring them down the discount tire, and have them be mounted, and I'll show you what we're going to be transitioning to. All right, well, these are the Dirtylife beadlocks that I have here 17 by 8.5, 8 by 170 bolt pattern, obviously. 3.5 inch back spacing. That's going to be the game changer. The methods are 4 3/4. So I'll show you in another clip here. So to run those methods, the methods do bolt on the truck without any issues, but lock to lock, the wheel would touch, the outside of the tire would touch the lower link and the 3 links on both sides. Not by much, but enough. And then at full flex, the rear, the inside of the tire would basically get into the coil spring and the coilovers. Again, not by much, but just enough to be an issue. So obviously I already had the wheels and I wasn't going to switch those at that time. So Ballistic Fabrication, they make their own USA made full top quality aluminum 2-inch spacers. So I bought those and they weren't cheap, but that got the wheel and tire out 2 more inches, and that's how I've been running. I'll have to measure again, but I think, let's see, I had it written down here. Let's see. I guess not. Okay, yeah, so it looks like I was 83 5/8 outside of tire, outside the tire. That's how my track width was. 83 5/8. Which is a little bit wider than I wanted to go, but again, I didn't really have much of an option. So anyway, as you guys have seen in all the videos, off-road, building, everything, I'm running the wheels and spacers the whole time, no issue. A lot of people don't like spacers, but I think a lot of people, probably most, buy them on eBay or Amazon, and they're super cheap quality. If you buy a name brand, USA made, top quality material, you're not gonna have any issues. As long as you torque them down to spec and check them later. Most people, like probably 98% of people, don't do that. Anyway, so now I can eliminate the spacers and then just run these beadlock wheels. So essentially I'm taking 4 inches away total track width. So that's going to bring me basically down to 79 5/8 track width. And then the difference between 4 3/4 of the method backspace and 3.5 is 1 1/4 inches. So add 2.5 inches back. So 79, 80, 81, 1/2 and 5/8. I think it breaks down like I'm basically like 1.5 inches narrower than what I was with no contactor issues. So again, further in the video, I'll take some pictures and videos of the spacers and whatnot currently on. Anyway, this is the first wheel and tire that I just started getting mocked up. I think I covered it in one of my other videos. At Tennessee, I actually slashed one tire. So this happens to be one brand new tire, and that's the one I did first. So first time doing beadlocks, brand new tire, a little bit of a challenge. I know it's not the right way to do it, but I was able to basically set the tire on the wheel as far as I could get it. And I basically just put 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, just enough to hold the lip of the tire onto the rim. And then I was able to inflate enough in the back to pop the rear bead on. And that gave me, it let me squish the tire down and start setting this outer bead. So there's a specific torque pattern here. Basically, you're going to start out at starting at 12 o'clock, working in a diagonal pattern, torque each bolt. 10 to 14 foot-pounds first time around. Second time around, 18 to 24 foot-pounds. Make a second pass, ensuring everything's properly seated. And then final torque of 18 to 24. And then obviously you want to verify that this gap all the way around is 100% gone and sandwiched together. So, and anti-seize on all the bolts. All right, let me get this one done. All right, so I got two mounted. I don't know if I mentioned already, but the brand new tire I mounted first. I figured that would probably be the hardest one to do. Again, it's also my first time ever doing beadlocks, so anyway, yeah, after the first one, obviously being brand new, it's a little bit tighter, not as squishy. That was a little bit of a trick. Second one went way better. You can tell a used tire is just so much more give. Still a little bit of a trick. Again, first time doing beadlocks. The goal is, or the key is, to get the back bead down as far as you can, because the higher the bead sits up on the wheel in this area, the more the front face wants to push out, and the front you're trying to get tucked down along this lip. And the tire itself has like a fairly sharp edge. This needs to be tucked down right inside that lip of the rim. So with the rear bead kind of forcing the front up, it's kind of a pain. So, but yeah, third tire, everything's going a lot smoother. A little bit of soap and water all the way around, slipped down a lot better. So I was able to reuse most of my balance beads. So I zero out a container. I need to get more of these out real quick. All right, so I got my little thing here. Everything's set at 0. I've been running 13 ounces of these beads, and the truck just drives so smooth. There we go, 13 ounces, close enough. Like I said, I've been running these beads, I don't know, it's like a airsoft, not airsoft, but some type of large BB for some type of gun, air gun. But these things work great. All right, so I got 4 of the 5 beadlocks mounted up. I had to run to the store. They only had 4 of the valve stems that I wanted, so the other pack's in. So anyway, these are the 2-inch ballistic fab spacers I've been running since day one. And again, never had an issue with them. As long as you torque them down, I always run red Loctite spacer to hub, and I've never had an issue. I've ran spacers on my previous Bronco 2 as well, and I think everybody else in the Team Ford group are also running some type of spacer, whether all 4 or front or rear. No issues. All right, let's get this thing off and get the first one mounted up. All right, all 4 are on the truck. I'm still getting used to the look, but I think I do like it. Like I said in the previous earlier in the video, I've always only ran black wheels pretty much on everything I've ever had. So, yeah, these look good. I guess it does, it definitely does separate, you know, the tire from the wheel. It doesn't all blend in. So I don't know, I guess the tire almost looks a little bit bigger now, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the 4 tires on. I did not do the 5th one yet. I have to go get that valve stem. I did a lock-to-lock test, and all my measurements are working out so far. I'm still at least 2 inches away from the lower link bars. So, very happy with it. So, in summary, why did I do this again? Well, I wish I would have done it at the very beginning. But I've never had beadlocks before, no experience with them. I don't know what you call it. I was nervous or whatever. But it always ends up later on, you're like, well, I kind of wish I would have done it initially. So why did I do it? Well, I want an easier situation if I have to change my own tires. So at least with the beadlock wheel, it's way easier to swap out a tire. I don't know, if I slash a tire down the road, I can get a new one, put it on very easily here at the barn, not have to worry about bringing it somewhere else. I mean, I know I can do a tire myself, I'm sure. It's just a real pain with a standard rim, especially a method beadlock. So ease of future, well, hopefully not future issues, but yeah, that, and there's no more spacer. Again, the spacer, never had any problems with it, and I am not against spacers at all. That's what I had to use. So I'm just I mean, I'm happier now I don't have to run them, and I'm happy that the truck is now 1.5 inches narrower overall. I think it looks way more proportionate. So this will end this episode. Like, subscribe, comment, and like always, we'll see you on the next one.